One goal I set for myself in 2024 was to read more books. I have 5 books from 2024 that I think you would love. The first one, guys, this book is amazing. The first one is Nearly All the Men in Lagos Are Mad by Damilare Kuku. You guys, this book, from the first page, like what had me very excited about this book was the title. Obviously, I've been seeing it in traffic thanks to piracy and all of that, and I used to think like, oh, why would somebody say nearly all the men in Lagos are mad? I mean, if you live in Lagos, Nigeria, you know that the men here, they're special. Let's not say anything. Let's not say anything. But like someone writing about it, and I'm not one to buy into hype. I really don't like hype. Like, if people are hyping things a lot, I'm curious, but I'm also wary. Like, is it marketing? I like to take my time. I'm slow to buy into the hype, or I never buy into the hype at all, especially if I clock that it's marketing. I'm just not going to do it. But I picked this book up. I think I picked it up at a friend's house, and I was like, oh, can I read this? And she said, sure, you can. Guys, from the first page, from the very first page to the last page, I didn't want the book to end. I was reading it when I wake up before I go to bed, and I finished it in like, let me say, maybe 2 or 3 days, but I don't know if it was up to a week. I wasn't tracking. But this book it's a collection of stories actually, with women's experience dating Nigerian men, Lagos men in particular, and I just felt relating a lot, not because all the stories I could relate with them or anything, or probably a friend has had a similar situation, or if you have a friend or you've seen something online. I'm just like, wow. And she's such a good storyteller because every story was so unique, so different, and it just made you feel like you could empathize with Lagos women, the women in Lagos dealing with these Lagos men. And disclaimer, not all Lagos men are terrible, but like nearly all of them. And one of the stories that actually stuck out to me, there were different ones, but I think almost at the ending, where she talked about one of the characters, the women fell in love with the white man, I think a Lebanese man or something like that. Like, I don't recall, but like the fact that he had been in Lagos all this while, he had grown up in Lagos, he has done all of that, like he's not a proper Lagos man. It doesn't even matter that he's a foreigner, as long as he's in Lagos, yeah. According to her, they're all mad or something like that. So it was that story was very interesting. Or the man that was he was gay, closeted. I don't know if that's like a derogatory word. If it is, I'm sorry, but he was in the closet, like he wasn't open about his sexuality, and then he married this woman, and the woman was she didn't know, but along the line, like, she now told her husband's mentor, someone that they call, like, he's their patron in that community, that society, even at work, like he's her husband's mentor. And she told her husband's mentor's wife, like, oh, this man, my husband is this, I saw him with another man, blah blah blah. And that conversation just opened floodgates of a community of women that were married to men that had secret male lovers, and all of them were cool with it because they had bought their silence. They're now living flamboyant lifestyle because their men are not attracted to women. They just married them for society and all of that. I could go on and on about this book, but I would give this book maybe like a 9.5 or 8.5 over 10 because it's just good storytelling, and like it makes you, Damilare puts you in a position where like you are laughing. It's a very funny book because sometimes you laugh, sometimes you be like, what the heck, sometimes you feel this you feel like punching the antagonist, like you really feel the pain. I think another one, but yeah, like another story was when this girl, this woman, she grew up with the guy and she saw all the red flags. The guy was a cheat. It was everything. Like right from when they were young, the man was already cheating on her and she did not listen to the red flags until one day she caught him cheating with their house girl in the house, and that just clicked something in her head. Then she started sleeping with the driver. She raised the driver to a standard level, like she cleaned up the driver and then broke up with the man, all of that. Like there were good endings and then there were bad endings for some characters, which I loved. Like it's a really, really good book. I really enjoyed this one. And I think the author has another book coming out. It's called what's it called again? It's only Big Bum Bum that matters in heaven, something like that. And I'm so scared to read it, guys. I am so scared to read it because I don't like when an artist comes with a good song and it's like, I'm excited to see what's next. But like, I'm also putting them in a very high pedestal, and I don't know if she'll be able to meet this, but I can't wait to read that book as well. If you've read this book or the other one I mentioned, Only Big Bum Bum Matters in Heaven, let me know. It's also a funny, like, she's actually just a witty person, and I love that about her. This book, guys, this book it's titled Jagua by Cyprian Ekwensi. Cyprian Ekwensi, I've read his book as far back as when I was in primary school or secondary, and that one was called The Drummer Boy. He's a good storyteller. I don't know what the kids are reading now in high school or primary school, but when I was in primary school and high school, we're reading things like Chinua Achebe, we're reading Cyprian Ekwensi, we're reading Wole Soyinka, we're reading brilliant minds, and I love this so much. And I think as I've grown older now, I just love African writers more, because they've been able to merge, like this Damilare Kuku now. They've been able to, like, you can tell that these ones, they have their own flair, they have their own style of writing, but you can still see that sense, you can still feel that sense of old writers like Chinua Achebe. You know that these ones, they actually learned from the best and all of that. Like Chimamanda as well, she will always talk about how she learned from Chinua Achebe. And also this book, Chimamanda Adichie rather, described this book as a joy, and that is what it is. Fun fact, or not so fun fact, when this book was first released, I think in the 60s it was banned or so, and it's just like, why? I'm not sure about that date, I'll correct that, but it was banned. And then I'm like, why? And they were like, it was provocative, it was it was very, it described, I don't know, they thought it was explicit, something of that sort, but it was a controversial book. But guys, this book is brilliant. Cyprian Ekwensi is a legend. When I say legend, like, if you've not read this book, I highly recommend this book. If you don't read anything out of everything here, everything that I'm going to talk about in this video, read this one. I mean, the font did scare me. I don't know if you can see this, but like, it's so tiny, and I don't know if I'm starting to have eye problems, but I was really squinting and struggling. But it was just a very interesting book. So Jagua, self-titled, is about a woman called Jagua, like I said. So she's a prostitute that has passed her prime, meaning like she's in her, I think, late 40s, early 50s, all that sort, and she's without a child, and she has this lover, this handsome boy called Freddie, that she wants to marry. But the thing is, Jagua is not willing to let go of the life that she's used to, which is sleeping with men for money. So she's going about life, she's dealing with Freddie on one end in her house, but when she has male suitors, she doesn't want Freddie to have a reaction, because at the end of the day, she's the one sponsoring Freddie. She's the one sponsoring his lifestyle. Like, she wants to send him to school. She even loves this boy so much that she wants to send him to school in England to go and study law. I was like, how handsome can this man be? But Cyprian did like describe him well, so you know that he was an eye candy. But then it was just very, very interesting to see, like, Freddie now loved someone else who was way younger than Jagua, and then that really messed up with her mind, because it's like, this is something that she really did not want to let go of. She didn't want to let go of her youth. She wanted to be forever young. And when Freddie went to someone younger, it just made her feel like okay, yes, I am getting old. So she didn't want that reality. She even, like, when Freddie finally got the admission letter that she had been pressing for, that she was going to pay for, she tore the admission, she tore his passport, she tore everything. Like, she was mad. But this book is really, really interesting. Like, if you want to read a good book, I did not like the ending, because I feel like she deserved better. Like, but I think in that time, the author was part of those generation, like, oh, okay, bad people, if you do bad things, what you sow you reap, right? Even if she had repented and tried to change her life around, she still didn't have a good ending, in my opinion. So I didn't like the ending. So that's it about this book. I don't want to give too much, because I don't want to be a spoiler on this page, but I highly, highly recommend this. I'll give this a 9, because it was that good. Like, a solid 9. The next book I really enjoyed is titled Tomorrow I Become a Woman by Aiwanose Odafen. I don't know if I'm correct pronouncing it correctly. But this book had me clutching my pearls. It had me wanting to fight. It wanted. I have so many anger when I think about this book, and the only thing that is making me happy is the fact that it had a good ending. Spoiler alert. So this book tells about woman. It talks about womanhood in Nigeria. Like I was just resonating. I'm like, yeah, like why do we do this? So the story talks about Obianuju. Obianuju is a woman. We are first introduced to Obianuju when she is in university and she meets someone in church. Dozie, that's his name, and he just, it was the most awkward proposal. It was the most awkward, will you marry me? Will you be my girlfriend thing type. And he was like, hold on, you deserve more than that. As the reader, that's what I was thinking to myself, like, girl, calm down, like, you deserve more than that. It wasn't those fairy tale, like, I knew the moment he looked at me, blah, blah, blah kind of thing. And meanwhile, she was secretly in love with her professor. And I had one Yoruba name, I can't remember right now. But she was in love with her professor. They had that, like, romantic thing. I just kept reading. I'm like, Maris, not everybody is delusional like you, especially for like now. This writer is not delusional. She just some people might have those butterfly kind of love, and some people might not, right? But this character, she's not very confident in herself. She's book smart, she's witty, she's fun, she has a personality, but she doesn't see herself as conventionally attractive, conventionally beautiful. And guess who made her that way? Her mother. The mother, like your mother is supposed to be your it's supposed to be your confidence boost, the person that reminds you of who you are whenever you ever forget who you are on this planet. Your mom should be right there reminding you, pum pum pum, Maris, this is who you are, because what, she created you. But guess what, this woman, in my own opinion, Uju's mother is the antagonist. She's the villain. She's the Thanos of this book. Because how, let me not get ahead of myself, but like, so she gets married to Dozie and they live a very tumultuous life because Dozie is a narcissist, he's a bully, he beats her, he does everything in the book, cheats on her, everything. Like, this woman cannot catch a break. And the first time he beat her up, she told her brothers about it. Her brothers went there in her defense, they beat him up. Guess what the mother said? Guess what the mother said? The mother dragged her back to that man's house and had her apologize or so. Like, it was very demeaning. Like, to think that your own mother will take you back to a man that beats you to the point where you almost died, and she would even scold your brothers for defending you. And it just plays back, like in the beginning of the book, when we're being introduced to this woman. She's called Mama in the book, and when Dozie proposes to her, she's almost like relieved because she could not believe that her daughter would be married someday. Like I said, she has a personality. She's the only daughter of a family of, I think, four. So she has brothers, she doesn't have sisters. But she has a personality. She thinks, according to her mom, she thinks like a man. So Uju wants to always know why. Uju is never in the kitchen cooking, all of that. She's with the guys. And she's not conventionally pretty, according to her and her mother. But her mom always feared, like, oh, this girl will not make a good wife one day. Nobody will want to pick her. So the moment Dozie came and said, I'm ready, I want to marry this girl, they just, even when they were beating her, they beat her daughter. Like, Dozie abused the woman. Dozie abused his wife and his daughter. And the mother still said, he's your husband. Like, I could go on and on about this book, but it made me big mad. Like, what do you mean that a man will be abusing you and you're telling your daughter to go back because of what? The scarcity of men. To the point that even when she ran away and changed her address, guess who gave the address to her man, to her husband? Her mother. And it was, it just raises awareness. Like, in the Nigerian society, women are brought up to think like, the more you endure hardship, the more you endure. This society is the one where women are often criticized for using epidural during childbirth, and the ones who use normal birth method, they're praised. It's like, why was epidural created in the first place? Why are we having such conversations? Or if you ever complained of cramps when you're growing up, you will know how many times they reminded you you're a woman, as if to say, like, there's more ahead of you, so like, let your head be correct. and know that there's more suffering awaiting you as a Nigerian woman. So, like, the Nigerian society, I don't know if it's the whole of Africa, but suffering is so prioritized. It's like you can't live a life of ease. They want you to have gone through things. And in this case, even domestic violence, to the point where, like, you're gasping for clinging on to your life is still not enough for you, her own mother, to say, give me back my child, I'm not doing it again, like, you are wrong. Nah, this book, it really boiled my temper. It made me mad. It made me big mad that this man was like, it was almost as if I should just enter the book and just give him like 2 points, like just beat him up, beat him to a pulp. That's how mad I was. Like, why are you beating, why you put your hands on a woman? Very cowardly. And on top of that, he was not even cheating on her. Crazy. So yes, I would give this book a 9.5 because the storytelling is brilliant. Like, I love all these books I'm reviewing. The writers had me engaged from start to finish. Like, that's how good it was. Like, this book was an e-read because I read it was an ebook, so I read it on my phone. And if you don't know now, let me tell you guys, I don't like ebooks, and I'm all for saving the planet and everything, but I think, like, which is why I still read ebooks, because I'm also trying to save the planet and all. But I still love a good book. I love when I'm holding it in my hand. So I struggle to finish ebooks. That's what I'm trying to say. But this book, I did not struggle, because the moment I opened it, the title alone, just brilliant. Like, brilliant storytelling. I give it a 9.5. This should be among the books that you want to read for 2025. Like, you can just, it's a good book to soak in, right? The last book on the list is titled The Blessed Girl. Now, I've never read a book by a South African author. I've never read any book. But I love South African movies. I love their culture. I just love, like, I watch a lot of their movies on Netflix. Very interesting, by the way. I love to experience different cultures. If it's through books, movies, traveling, I just like to see something other than what I'm used to. And I also love, like, this book was also an e-read. Very witty, very funny. And if you just want to have a good laugh, this is the book. But it's also serious in a way. So the book is about a girl called Buntley. Buntley is, this typical beautiful girl that has her way with everything. Like, she has always been fine from elementary school. She has had pretty privilege all her life, and she has gone ahead with life. She didn't graduate uni, but she's doing way better than people that graduated uni. So she has become used to the hustle culture, hustling, in the sense that she has blessers. That's what the South African culture calls, like, sugar daddies or sponsors. So she has like a myriad of blessers that sponsor her life. Imagine she's driving a BMW, she's living in a penthouse, designer vacation here and there. But along the line, she has a very big secret. I won't tell you what that secret is. Go and buy the ebook. So she has a very big secret, and then that secret is eating her life up, eating her up, and also affecting her relationship with her mother. And so the book also tells about her relationship with her friends and greed. Like, this girl had everything. She had all that she could ever imagine. She had a business that was thriving in its own way, but not thriving enough for her. And this girl went ahead to steal her husband. Sorry, she was not married. She was married, but you guys go and read that book. But she went ahead to steal her friend's man, like her friend's blesser. And it was so crazy. Like, why are you stealing your friend's man or blesser or whatever it is? And she had this attitude of, oh, he's for everybody. It was also a Nigerian man. That author was very shady for making that man Nigerian. So it was just a blend, a beautiful story, well told. And then she changed her life, all of that. So yeah, it was a good book. I really enjoyed it, and I liked that I was reading something different from the Nigerian authors that I'm used to. I could never get tired of them, but it was good to see that. So yeah, like, The Blessed Girl, top on my list, top 5 on my list. So I encourage that you read it. If you've made it so far to this video, guys, don't be stingy, share with your friends, and let me know which of these books are you interested in reading. Like, have you read any of them? Let me know in the comments. Would you give them the same rating I'm giving them right now? Do you think I'm rating them too high? I'm not easily pleased, especially with movies, food, and books in that order. I'm not easily pleased. So, like, for me to give you these books, I really give it these books these ratings. That means I really enjoyed them. So, would you be giving them these ratings, or have I rated them too high or too low? So, thank you. Thank you for making it this far to this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know the books that you also read in 2024. I'm trying to build a wish list, a list of books I want to read in 2025. And in 2025, I want to blend. Like 2023 was self-development books, which I started and did not finish most, but I survived. 2024 was fiction, and this year I want to focus on fiction and non-fiction, like self-development books, autobiographies, and a lot of fiction as well. I just want to, I love the way a writer's mind works. It's just so beautiful to see. So yeah, thank you for making it to this. I've said that how many times, so thank you for watching my video, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.